Dunscomb.
Thank you very much. Standing here in front of this radio microphone, which is a Shure SM7 for those of you scoring at home, brings back to me some very strong nostalgic feelings from my broadcasting days. The prospect of appearing on the radio again reminds me that I've had the rare and extremely disorienting sensation of waking up to the sound of my own voice on the radio. While I don't anticipate any such issue next week, as a college professor, I now get the unusual and also somewhat odd privilege of assigning myself as extra credit. So for all of my students in the audience, I advise you that your 600-word write-ups of today's event are due next Wednesday. I am especially pleased to have this opportunity to appear before you today as part of the year-long celebration of the Alaska World Affairs Council's 50th anniversary, which if you think about it, is quite a marvelous accomplishment and well worth celebrating. But mostly I'm pleased to speak to you today in order to brief you on some of the developments occurring in East Asia, which may not get much attention in the media here, but are certainly well worth watching and keeping up with. Of course, the highlight of this upcoming year and the centerpiece of my talk will be the 2008 Summer Olympic Games to be held in Beijing starting August 8th. Many Americans will tune in to coverage of these games to catch those Olympic sports which always draw their interest: gymnastics, track and field, basketball, or boxing. And especially in gymnastics, the Chinese expect to do quite well. But simply hosting the Olympic Games is the culmination of over a decade of hard work on behalf of the Chinese government and its people, first to prepare the bid starting in 1997, and then to actually win it in the summer of 2001. How well or badly the Olympics play out will have important ramifications for the future of China. Yet for the interested spectator of East Asia, as I am, there are developments throughout the region, in Japan, Taiwan, and on the Korean Peninsula, that have and will continue to be equally important in terms of shaping the future of those nations and offer the possibility of profound changes which we would be well advised to be aware of. And I'd like to take some time from my remarks to address those issues today as well. Now, when the leadership of the People's Republic of China, the Chinese Communist Party, first determined to pursue an Olympic bid, which they did in 1993, they were doubtless drawing on the example which had been set by their neighbors in Japan and South Korea. For the Japanese, the success of the 1964 Tokyo Games was positive proof not only that Japan had recovered from the effects of war, defeat, and occupation, but that Japan had become a prosperous and modern democracy, and that all Japanese could take pride in the nation's accomplishments. The decision of national broadcaster NHK to show the games in color made possession of a color television set one of the indispensable consumer products of the day. For South Korea, the 1988 Seoul Olympics were also initially designed to showcase South Korea's modernity and prosperity, but quite unexpectedly also turned into a celebration of the nation's turn towards democracy and the maturity of its civil society. The Beijing Olympics are equally designed to serve as something of China's coming out party, to mark China's rise, although most Chinese, not unjustifiably, would label it more properly China's return to the international stage. They will hopefully demonstrate that the Chinese too have achieved enviable measures of prosperity and modernity. But most of all, the Chinese Communist Party hopes the Games will demonstrate the CCP's own exemplary stewardship of China's economic and social transformation and extend its mandate to maintain its monopoly on political power. However, just as with the Seoul Olympics, even before they begin, the message of the Beijing Games threatens to morph into something which the CCP did not intend. And the general anxiety over whether or not China can host a successful Olympics has been complicated by a growing concern among the CCP leadership over whether or not they can maintain control over the message that the Beijing Games are intended to send. It should also be noted that 2008 also marks the 30th anniversary of a fundamental reorientation of the CCP's policy.